Hey, it's Rachel. So I am back with another Whole30 video for those of you guys who are doing the September Whole30. I did want to try to come up with some content to be helpful. So for today's videos, I want to talk about my #1 Whole30 hack, and that is to batch cook. Now, if you don't know what batch cooking means, it basically means you make a large amount of either a recipe, ingredient, I don't know, just a large amount of whatever, and keep it in your fridge so that way throughout the week you can take little pieces or portions of it. So for example, in the winter, I like to make a huge container of chili, and then I always have that chili ready to go in my fridge. So throughout the week, if I just don't feel like cooking, I know that the chili leftovers are there and I can just eat that. So for today's video, I'm gonna show you how I batch cooked for this week. And yes, this is going to be 100% Whole30 approved. So if you wanna try this at home, you can. So this Sunday, I batch cooked 3 things. I batch cooked eggplant. This is 4-5 baby eggplants that I purchased from Costco. I also batch cooked the bison. This is 1 pound of ground bison, which I showed in my last Whole30 grocery haul. I think I showed the eggplant too. Then the last thing that I batch cooked was sweet potato. Sweet potato is a great pre-workout carb that is Whole30 approved. It's really a great carb in general, but I'm not gonna use that right now. So we're just gonna put that sweet potato aside. But for tonight, I am just going to use the eggplant and the bison. Typically, if you're real lazy, you could just eat these two. Take a little bison, take a little eggplant, mix them together, and you have dinner. It is almost 7 o'clock. I just got home from work. I am exhausted and I am starving, but I don't really feel like eating plain bison and plain eggplant. So because I have cooked with eggplant before, I know that it goes really well with tomatoes, and I know it goes really well with basil. So what I am going to do is I'm going to take a little bit of eggplant, a little bit of bison, some canned tomatoes, some basil, some minced garlic, and just because I have it, a little bit of onion. So I am going to take all of those ingredients, I am going to cook them on the stove, and everything is pretty much cooked. Like the meat's cooked, the eggplant's cooked, so this is just a matter of heating it up and kind of making all of the ingredients blend really well. But that means I am going to have a real meal in like 10 minutes. So let me show you how I do this, and maybe you can try it. Okay, so in my cooking vessel, in my pot, I have 4 ounces of the bison and, what did I say, 85 grams of the eggplant. Why, this isn't gonna work, hold on. Why did I choose that amount? Well, I'm cooking just for me. It's just one meal. I know I typically eat about 3 to 4 ounces of meat every meal, and 85 grams is like the typical serving size of vegetables. You could also do 100 grams. I basically just eyeballed it. This isn't a real recipe. This is to show you guys, you literally just throw things in a pot and experiment, and it normally turns out decently well. So that is reheating because it's already cooked. Now let me show you the other ingredients. This is how much onion I am having. I just cut off a chunk, and I'm gonna chop that up and add it to this mixture. So, yep, and just throw it in the pot. So you can hear that cooking. Now, typically you would put in the onions first and let the onions saute, but I didn't because I forgot, and it doesn't really matter. Who cares? So next, minced garlic. I'm just gonna take, I don't know, maybe that's not even a full teaspoon. So I'm just gonna take a chunk and I'm gonna throw it in the pot. So the next is now the tomatoes. By the way, this is Red Gold tomatoes. I worked with this brand, God, I don't know, a couple of years ago. They were sending me cans of tomatoes. I continue to purchase them every time I go to the store, and the reason that I do that is because these, I'm pretty sure almost every can of Red Gold tomatoes are Whole30 approved. Always check the back of your canned tomatoes during the Whole30. A lot of the companies, I know like Del Monte definitely, put sugar in cans of tomatoes, and sugar obviously is not approved on the Whole30. So always read the ingredients. This diced tomatoes does not have sugar, so you can use it on the Whole30. As far as how much to put in here, well, let's find out. So I've got, this is 1/3 of a cup, and whoop, it's too much juice. We could probably do more than that. Yeah, 2/3-ish. So this is what we are looking at right now. Kind of looks like a chili, sort of. So I'm just letting this cook. It has been less than 5 minutes, and we actually have a meal that's almost ready. And the very last step, throw some basil in. Okay, so it has been 9 minutes, 8 minutes. Everything is pretty much heated and cooked. I'm gonna do something that I wasn't expecting on doing. I'm looking at this and thinking, 85 grams of eggplant, some tomatoes, some onions, that's not enough veggies. This is looking a little too chili-like for me, and I wanna eat more veggies tonight. But tonight, I'm also eating lower carb. So, I happen to have this bag of spinach. I'm just gonna throw it in, 'cause why not? And the very last step to any Whole30 meal is to add spices. Now, I would probably add some sort of like Italian seasoning to this, but I'm completely out. So for today, we are just gonna do salt and then some onion powder, and I'm gonna call this meal done. And here is the final product. So that's gonna be my dinner. So that's it, guys. That's the video for today. Batch cook a bunch of ingredients, and so at night when you come home from work and you're exhausted and you just don't feel like cooking, all you have to do is throw a couple of them together on the stove and you get a real dinner. It's a lot healthier than any microwavable meal or frozen pizza or box of Ritz crackers for dinner, because I've done that and I'm pretty sure you guys have too, right? So Whole30 approved, super easy. If you guys have any questions, feel free to leave them in the comments below. If you have any fun, just throw together meal ideas, definitely share them, because that's how we all learn, is just by sharing the knowledge that each of us has, right? I wanna know what you guys know. So talk to me in the comments below, but until then, or until my next video, or I don't know, I'm just gonna end this here because I'm awkward and I wanna eat this real bad. So, bye.